Greetings, Phantasmagoriumites, and welcome to a very special episode of Cat's Movie Corner. I'm Kat, joined once again by Scott. How's it going?
Good, good. How are you? It's been a while.
It's been all right. Ernesto and I have been doing our Batman shows and our From the Pile shows, where we've been shaming each other pretty well about things we haven't seen.
What's
Uh,
the most surprising thing that has been uncovered in the pile?
from him, it would probably be The Shining. Uh,
Okay.
he had just watched that for the first time before we went live with that one. And for me, I think the biggest surprise he had that I hadn't seen was Carrie.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
And
Awesome.
I finally watched that. Those are some nice surprises. uh, Speaking of things we've seen or haven't seen, I did pick up a couple new physical media hauls this week. Here's the 4K of All the President's Men.
Delightful.
Very delightful. Uh, I like the shadowy deep throat in the corner. I
That's
love how
great.
this character has like one of the most ridiculously ironic lines in a movie where he's like, I had to come forward to protect the integrity of the FBI. I'm like, really? It's like the integrity of the FBI in 1972. My God. And then Ben Hur.
Oh wow.
This is a reference quality disc. It is unbelievably good. Uh, it's also split onto two discs because the movie is so long. And then the third disc, the green one, is just for bonus features, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so you got the big chariot race there. It's funny, the J card it came with said it has one of the most famous chariot races in cinema history. But I can't think of any other chariot races in cinema history. Uh, can
Star
you?
Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Oh, hello, DJ Play Nice Rock.
Rock DJ.
Absolutely. Uh, we are here to discuss all things movies. Before we get to our main topic, there were a few new movies released last week, one of which Scott and I both saw. After a 9-year hiatus, Gore Verbinski has finally returned to the director's chair with "Good luck, have fun, don't die." What did you think of that film, Scott?
I really loved it coming out of the theater. And I thought, well, I really loved it coming out of the theater just because I was really excited to see it and I wasn't disappointed. And then the more it sat with me, I was like, was it as good as I thought it was, or did I just want it to be that good? But it has stuck with me and I really want to see it again. I think that it was frenetic. It's not as intense as the trailers lead on that it would be, but I did like the wry satire of it. And as always, Sam Rockwell is just a powerhouse. He's amazing. I will watch him do anything.
Yeah, I love him playing crazy weirdos like that. He's so good. And I love how involving the movie is right from the jump. It's like we're not going to take time trying to, spend 20 minutes introducing character. No, we're just going to start with this nutcase going inside of Norm's diner and just freaking everybody out. And they did. I know they shot the movie in Cape Town, South Africa, and they did a good job recreating the interiors because the exterior of the restaurant was on location in L.A., West Hollywood, and then the interior was there. I've been to that restaurant, not the. Well, I mean, interiors are created elsewhere, but I've been to that. It's a good diner. I liked how zany the movie was. I liked how the sort of the way they presented it with flashbacks with certain characters allowed tonal shifts, so you could have it be kind of sad and kind of kind of eerie. And I liked how each little segment had a little clue in there that feeds into the next story. Or you pick up on something, it's like, oh, that's why this person was doing that, or so to speak, and you kind of start putting it together. But it was really funny, really zany. Third act got a little hokey and a little heavy CG, and once it started becoming as totally batshit, it started losing me a bit. But then it reeled me back in with the end.
Yes, yeah, and I don't want to spoil it at all,
Yeah, I
but
won't
that
either.
was that was sort of something that it was like this is getting a little overblown, and then by the time you get to the finale of the film, it's like, oh, that's why. And so there is rationale to it, and like I don't know, Sam Rockwell plays a character called the Man from the Future. And I
Mhm.
was trying to figure out, is this a time travel movie? And I came to the conclusion that it's a time travel movie in the same way that The Terminator is a time travel movie. Like the time travel, it kicks off the events, but everything is basically, aside from a linear narrative, everything is pretty much present day. So it's not, you don't have
Yeah,
to worry too much about time travel shenanigans.
right. Because they're not jumping forward or backwards that far in time. Because every time he comes, he has a watch showing how much time that they have. And for those who don't know, the basic premise is this guy looking like a total homeless, crazy person walks into a Norm's diner and says, I've done this 117 times, where I've recruited 6 people to accompany me on a quest to save the future from AI or whatever. Uh, which is funny because, fighting AI or whatever may not be the most original concept, but damn, does Gore Verbinski make it feel so real and fresh and new? And it's like, I'm glad he finally. I don't know why he hasn't been doing anything for 9 years, but I'm glad he finally came back and made another movie again.
Well, and he famously, being the director of the original Pirates of the Caribbean movies, he probably is set for money.
Oh yeah, that and then Lone Ranger, and then he did
Well,
Cure for Wellness in 2017.
yes, I would like to see the Cure for Wellness. I think that in 2017, I still had a bit of a distaste for Dane DeHaan,
Mm.
and now he's kind of grown on me ever since I saw Valerian.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen him in too much. I saw him play James Dean in that movie with Robert Pattinson as about the life photo shoot. He was good in that, and I saw him, of course, in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and then uh,
Chronicle.
Chronicle, which I saw that once. I wasn't as crazy about that like everybody else was, and then I saw him in Cure for Wellness, and I think that was about it. I didn't see Valerian. I just remember hearing everybody talk about it.
Yeah, it starts off really well and you have high hopes, but it kind of falls flat when you compare it to The Fifth Element. But I had
Mhm.
fun with it, and but it just, yeah. Anyway, that's Dane DeHaan. But with Gore Verbinski, I haven't seen the Cure for Wellness. I didn't know that it had Jason Isaacs and Mia Goth in it. I didn't even know I had barely heard of it, and so now that's something that's sort of on my list. It looks freaky deaky, but also kind of cool.
It's freaky deaky. It's disturbing. It's gorgeous cinematography, but it's way too long at nearly 2.5 hours.
Oh wow.
It feels like it's just pacing wise, it's like an hour too long, but it's a really good movie. It's funny because it came out at the same time Get Out did, like the same weekend or the week before, and they both have the basic same plot structure where you have a protagonist who's reluctantly sent out to this very isolated place to do something, and they both realize that something fishy's going on here. I want to get out, but unlike the character in Get Out who never leaves because he's worried about his girlfriend, Dane DeHaan, his character whose name I can't remember, tries multiple times to get away, and there are reasonable explanations as to why he fails each time. So I like that a bit more. But it was a good movie. It really goes nuts in the third act. But that was good. Oh, hello, we have people in the chat here with Ash D710. Hey guys, been a hot minute. How are you both?
Doing well, Ash. How are you?
Yeah, I've been all right. Just hanging out here and rehabbing my broken leg, which is on the mend, but it's like, Jesus, everything's worse than it was before. Uh, and I had to go out in the blizzard today for uh, going to an appointment, and it's like we only get snow here once every 4 years, uh, and this is like the big blizzard that they've been talking about because that incident with the skiers who got killed was only 50 miles away from here.
Oh my.
Uh, but yeah, so it's been all right, just rehabbing the leg, not feeling great about it. But let's see. Ash also follows up saying, I want to see that Send Help movie. Looks insane. Another good one is Housemaid that was super good. Housemaid was kind of, it felt like a throwback to 90s, I don't want to say daytime television, but little silly thriller. Like the first half I was really on board with, but it's kind of predictable as to what's going to happen, and then it just gets really zany a bit. I'm a friend of the channel, Matt, said it was like really trashy, but a good type of trash that you just want to have every once in a while. Did you see that one, Scott?
No, I have a physical distaste for Sydney Sweeney.
Oh, I thought you liked her.
No, I actually dislike her out of spite because it's so strange. It's like there's this group of dudes on the internet who think she's the second coming of Venus de Milo, And I've never seen a situation where everyone said one woman was the hottest. So I don't trust it. And also it's like the internet has never seen boobs before. So I'm just like, all right, all right, all right. And then who is it Elephant or Dakota Fanning in that? Or is it
No, it's
Amanda Seyfried?
Amanda Seyfried.
Yeah. And so the only thing that I really liked her in was The Dropout. I liked that thing about the lady who faked the you know, test illnesses with blood kind of thing. But yeah, no, I just don't care for the actress. Is it a comedy? I didn't even see the trailer.
It's kind of styled like a thriller,
Okay.
but at times it gets a little over the top once you get to what's going on. Basically, Sydney Sweeney's character is hired as the housemaid for Seyfried's character, and what's his name? I think Brandon Sklenar, I think is his name, who plays her husband. And Seyfried's character seems practically mentally ill, and she's always making these ridiculous demands of the housemaid, who fulfills those demands. And then she angrily insists in front of her husband that she never told the housemaid to do this and blaming her for everything. And he's very forgiving because he knows that she's kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But then the movie keeps going in a particular direction, and given that the times we're in, you can kind of see what's actually going on, and you're getting there. But it was okay. Send Help. I saw that one, the new Sam Raimi film. It does have his trademark batshit crazy stuff in it. I did think it was a tad bit predictable and was about 25 minutes too long. And it got to the point where I didn't care about either of them. Like, the trailer makes it seem very cut and dry that he just totally screwed her over. And yeah, he is a jerk. But she is so socially awkward that it's like, yeah, I can see why they passed you up for promotion, because you lack social skills and are completely incapable of reading a room and would not make a good vice president of this company, even though you are book smart. But it does the typical thing that, oh, what if you're stranded on an island with somebody you don't like or whatever, and then they have to be at your mercy or whatever. And I feel like I've seen that in a lot of skits or punchlines of jokes and stuff like that. But it was fun. Nice to see Sam Raimi trying to get back to his roots.
Ash asks if I'm assuming let's go for both with the housemaid and Send Help.
Well, she saw the housemaid. She liked that one.
Okay.
Send Help. I liked it. I wouldn't pay full price for it. Like a matinee maybe, or a Tuesday discount day. It was fun. Rachel McAdams is pretty good in that movie. I wasn't really crazy about Dylan O'Brien. I don't really know him from anything. I was familiar with the name, but it was pretty funny at times, and I think they did miss an opportunity to have a really great Bruce Campbell cameo. I mean, they have photos of him on a wall in an office, and that's his cameo, which is a shame because there was I'm not going to spoil it, but there was a perfect scenario where it's like, this, you should have had him here, and the movie's so over the top at this point that you may as well have thrown him in. But it was okay. It was fun. I gave it 3 out of 5.
Is the Buick in it?
No, it's
okay.
Not. No. Ash says, okay, wait for it to stream somewhere for free with free with subscription. Yeah. That I saw that in a double feature with Mean Streets. That was a one night only. So that was a very interesting double feature.
Yeah.
That's a great movie, by the way, if you haven't seen it. Scorsese's first gangster movie from 1973.
Yeah, I just saw that recently. I picked that up, and I was very pleasantly surprised. I really liked it. And it's always nice to see young Keitel.
Yeah. And I think De Niro's really good in that movie. It's just a totally irresponsible lunatic. That was quite fun. Another moment I saw last week that came out was Crime 101. It's trying very hard to feel like Heat, like the opening shot and the music with the city and all that kind of stuff at night, and the shots of the freeways, and they're doing the personal lives of the cops and robbers type thing. But it feels like, okay, you're watching it and you're waiting for it to, it feels like it's building up to something like a powder keg that never goes off. Because like Heat, the first half is really good, but then the heist that kicks off the second half of the movie, it becomes like the rest of the second half is just the really suspenseful fallout from the heist all on the same day. And The Dark Knight did that really well too, where the first half is like this intense crime drama channeling Heat, and then the second half begins with that truck chase, and the movie just takes off like a bullet at that point. This movie never really does. It's like it's feeling a lot of dialogue scenes, a lot of we're following the investigation, blah blah blah, as to what's going on, but it never really boils over into a big you could tell when you were at the climax, and I was expecting something's going to go horribly wrong, and maybe give us a banger climax, but it didn't really do that. It's too long. That being said, I didn't hate it. It was still good, well cast. I just give it like 3.5 out of 5. They had a big market. I'm surprised it didn't do that well. I mean, it only made like 28 million opening weekend, and for a 3-day weekend, I thought it would have done more because the cast and the crime drama or whatever.
Yeah, it's strange. It's strange. Well, like I'm surprised that Wuthering Heights is the thing that was sort of setting the cinemas on fire in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I saw
But
that too.
oh, and how was that?
Well, I can see why she put the title in air quotes because it's not Wuthering Heights.
Okay.
It starts like Wuthering Heights, where the girl and Catherine Heathcliff, they know each other as kids, and he finds out that she doesn't want to marry him because it would be below my station, and he's offended, so he runs off, and then he comes back years later, very wealthy, and she's married the rich guy who lives down like 5 miles away. But the book, for those who don't know, is him trying to get revenge on her husband after she dies, and it becomes very convoluted, involves multiple generations of the family with her ghost coming back to haunt him and stuff. Whereas this movie's like, well, what if instead of her dying, it becomes this kind of acrimonious, loathsome love story between the two of them, where they're both becoming like they're having an affair, but then they're kind of not, and he's trying to get revenge on her by, marrying the sister of her husband, or the sister's in the book. I think it's actually his young ward in the movie. But it's like it gets really a bit cartoonish with the whole, in a sense, it's like a staring contest, like who's going to blink first, and some of it gets a bit ridiculous. Cinematography is luscious, the set design is amazing, but for all the people are talking about how much love scenes are in it, not really, because it's not until very late. It felt like not until deep into the second half of the movie where they actually start their affair. But again, it's not really Wuthering Heights. It's like Emerald Fennell is reimagining it like some thirsty teen romance type thing. And it's like, no, the book is about very spiteful people doing horrible things to each other. And yeah, Margot Robbie's twice the age of the character she's playing in the book, but she's still playing it like a 19-year-old being, arrogant and conceited and immature, which is kind of weird for her to play the role that way. And then Heathcliff, they got rid of, because in the book, Heathcliff's like mixed race, which had more of an issue as to why she felt she couldn't be with him because of the racism of the time, whatever. Whereas in the movie, they jettison that, and it's more like, oh, he's a servant, I can't marry him. But it was, as an adaptation, everybody's gonna hate it, and a lot of people are. But am I surprised it did well for Valentine's Day? No, but I am surprised at just how well it did. Like 80 million plus was just insane for that. I can't believe. I don't know if it'll have staying power once word gets around as to what it actually is.
Well, but also, like, I think that those adult erotic drama, like, it says that it's erotic, but not as erotic as you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
But like, the movies that are made for adults, hey, Wes Cagle.
Yeah.
Like for mature audiences, and that's sort of lacking in today's offerings. And so
yeah, Ash says, I thought they were playing it up like a rom-com instead of how it's portrayed in the book. Yeah, not really a comedy, even though some ridiculous stuff happens. But yeah, they're trying to do this steamy romance type thing. But yeah, the book really wasn't a romance. It was, again, horrible people doing horrible things to each other in the name of love and spite.
Yeah, the only thing I know about Heathcliff is he was a rival to Garfield. So, 2 orange cats.
Yes, indeed. And then in the news, as far as the last couple of weeks, we've had a few deaths in the industry, 5 of them. There was James Vanderbeek.
Yeah.
From Dawson's Creek. I didn't see that. I didn't heard the news that he was even sick, so that kind of was a surprise. Although I only ever saw the pilot episode of that show when it originally aired. I'm like, not for me.
Well, it used to do reruns on TBS, and me and my manager in the early 2000s, we had access to a projector. And so we would get together on Sundays and watch. They'd have 2 episodes on Sunday afternoons, and we'd watch those and just, drink and watch Dawson's Creek. And it was kind of fun. It was like getting together and watching stories. I really liked him in Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23. He plays sort of
Mm.
a an alternate Lothario version of himself,
Mhm.
and then of course he plays Jay in the Blunt Man and Chronic movies, in both Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and in Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. But I
Mm.
did hear that he had been ill because there was an anniversary table read for I forget if it was the finale. It was in front of an audience. I forget if it was the finale or the pilot. I think it was the finale of Dawson's Creek, and everyone was there except for James Vanderbeek because his cancer had sort of advanced to the point where he couldn't perform.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. It came. I didn't even wasn't even aware that was going on. Uh, and then the same day we lost Bud Cort. Uh,
Yeah.
Probably most famous for Harold and Maude. That was a great movie. Uh, that kind of yeah, he was 77, so I thought he was actually older, so I was surprised to learn that. Um, haven't seen him in too much.
Also,
Speaking of Heat, he was in Heat as the jerk who runs the diner, and he's like, "You have to give a quarter of your take home pay to me, no questions, right? Right, you or I'll report you to a parole officer for stealing or smoking crack or whatever."
well,
Uh,
and he plays God at the beginning of Dogma.
yeah.
So it's nice. It's, Kevin Smith connections all over the place.
Then I'll skip over the next one because that's going to be the main topic. We also lost Tom Noonan, who of course
Yeah.
was in Manhunter. Famously was the villain in that, where a lot of people probably first saw him.
My first encounter of Tom Noonan probably would have been a toss up. It's either going to be RoboCop 2 or Monster Squad, where he plays Frankenstein's monster. But under those prosthetics, you can't really tell it's him. But I just watched that the day he passed away, sort of in honor. I just got it from Kino Lorber and the Blu-ray, and I watched that, and that's a great movie, and that's a great performance. But also, he was in Heat, Last Action Hero. Those are some
Was
others.
isn't he
That,
again?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, those are some good ones. And then just today we learned of this afternoon, hours ago, lost Eric Dane. I'd seen him the last time I saw him was in the villain in Bad Boys Ride or Die a couple years ago,
Oh wow.
or about a year and a half ago, and then he was on Euphoria in the first in all three seasons. He finished filming season 3 before he died. That'll be coming up later this year. And then of course he was on Grey's Anatomy, which is a show I missed the boat on that one, so I didn't see any of it. I do know that as recently as a couple months ago, Patrick Dempsey had said he wanted him to be on his show, but his condition with ALS had progressed to the point that that was no longer possible, which is like insane, given that he only got the diagnosis I think last April, or at least that's when he told people. Uh,
But in Euphoria, that like his final sort of television role, he does play a character with ALS, and so he does get to sort of
he
confront
did.
that drama. And so I think it is 53. That's too young. That's
Oh
5
yeah,
years away from my hopeful not demise. But it's nice that he could actually sort of portray what he was going through, because people say performance and art is so that you can convey and sort of share these feelings with other people. And if you're going through something and there are other people who are going through it as well, or know family members who are going through it, it's a great way to sort of share those emotions. And so cheers to him for opening up so much.
yeah. Oh wow, Ash, that's sad right there. My grandfather died of ALS, and seeing it up close, it's such a sad disease. Oh man, that's sorry to hear that. Uh, that's heavy. And then of course, leading to our main show topic, we lost the legend Robert Duvall, 95. So many great movies there. Ironically, one of his most famous was actually a TV movie, Lonesome Dove. And I did watch an old interview just before the show started where he was on Conan, and he was telling him that, the English can do Hamlet and King Lear and that type of stuff, but I played Augustus the Cloud. That's good for me. That's great. He's like, I felt like I could retire right when I did that movie. and felt that I had done the best thing I could probably ever do. And I thought that was really, really neat because that was back in 1989, and he had a ton of great roles after that still. Uh,
Oh, absolutely. I had heard that an interview, because I soak up any Norm Macdonald interview I can, but he had hosted, sub hosted for Dennis Miller's radio show, I think. And Robert Duvall called in, and Norm Macdonald says, "I think you're the best actor ever." And so he's like, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you." And he's like, "Well, I know you're a Christian, and false humility is a sin, but do you think you're the best actor?" And he's like, "Well, I can hold my own," which I thought was great. Just in terms of, that again, that false humility of being like, "Oh no." And then he goes on to say, how can you be the best if you're an artist? Everybody brings whatever they can. But he tries to keep it real. And I think that what David Lynch said of Harry Dean Stanton, that he was the most naturalistic actor that he had ever worked with. And that stuck with me in terms of how good actors can be. And Robert Duvall had always naturalistic, made it feel real, conveyed the emotion. And like, there are movies I was going through his IMDb and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot he was in that. Because you don't really think of him as a big movie star. You think of him as the character, even though he's one of the biggest. He's a legend.
yeah, kind of like a character actor, even like he was in Bullet, and he's only in it for like 10
Oh yeah.
seconds, but he's still there. He also was actually To Kill a Mockingbird was his first movie role as Boo Radley. That was quite well known for that. And then he was in the early American Zoetrope films, The Rain People, and of course THX 1138 as George's first movie, and he played the title character, and he was really good in that. Very quirky, but no one can argue against it that it is quite an acting job for that character role. Uh,
Oh, absolutely.
and then, of course, he's most famously in a film that I'm not that crazy about, but I got it right here, The Godfather. That I love his character in this movie. Tom Hagen is a great character, and I love the fact that he's not like blood related to the family, but he's still in the family even more than Michael is at the start, which is kind of crazy. Uh, and of course, he came back for the sequel, The Godfather 2. Excellent movie right here. And he told a funny story about Godfather 3 in that same interview with Conan. Conan asked him, "So what's the story? Like, why weren't you in Godfather 3?" And he said, very frankly, he says, "Look, everybody did Godfather 3 for money." He's like, "There's no shying about it now. Everybody just did that for the paycheck because they wouldn't pay me what I wanted." And he says, "Francis came to my farm in Virginia. He showed up in a limousine. He came inside, and I made him my grandmother's recipe of some type of dish. And Francis, being Francis, got distracted by the food and absolutely loved it and insisted that he write down the recipe. And he did write down the recipe, but he forgot to take the recipe with him and also forgot to negotiate with him for Godfather 3. So he didn't end up being in the movie, but he ended up getting the recipe back. And then he called Robert some years later. He's like, "Robert, I just made your grandma's recipe in Rome. It was just as good. I made it for the cast of this movie I'm doing. It's great." And Robert's like, no, it wasn't as good. He wasn't there. He just like, no, it wouldn't have been as good as grandma or mom's recipe, which I thought was really funny. That it's like, yeah, just very blatant business. Pay me the money or I'm not going to do it. It's like, okay.
Well, and it's entertaining because I went and again scrolling through his IMDb. He was in the video games. He did the voice of the video games for The Godfather and The Godfather 2. And I was like, well, eventually he got paid. I'm glad. It just seems like an ultimate fuck you to not paying him for Godfather 3.
Well, Sean Connery did the same thing where I think it was Johnny Carson asked him, "Who's your favorite Bond villain?" back in like the 80s or whatever. And he said, "Well, Cubby Broccoli," because
Yeah.
they wouldn't let him renegotiate his contract to pay him more money. And that's one of the reasons he did Never Say Never Again, just to spite, because he knew it was going to be a competing movie with the official Bond film, Octopussy, because they were going to pay him a boatload of money. And so then he came back in 2006 to voice Bond in the From Russia with Love video game adaptation. And I can't imagine how much they paid him for that. I don't hear much about how much they pay people for video games. Uh,
I think that was a situation where they asked him, and because his grandchildren played video games, he thought he would do something that they would pay attention to. Because don't forget, he did that animated movie, that not Dragonheart, but he did another animated dragon movie. It was his
mm,
last role
right,
at
because it was a
all.
Scottish. It was like a Scottish animated film, and so he had that national pride thing, which is funny for
Yeah.
a guy who lives in Jamaica. That always talking about how much he loves Scotland, but he doesn't really go there. Uh,
But it is crazy the amount of stuff that Robert Duvall was in. I didn't
oh yeah,
realize he was in the Jack Reacher movies as well.
he was. I didn't remember that because I haven't seen the Jack Reacher movies
Oh
actually.
wow. Yeah, no,
Uh,
I've seen him a couple times and I it just goes in there. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. But like he was in The Sixth Day, the Arnold
mhm.
Schwarzenegger clone movie, which he has a
Network.
touching performance in.
Yeah, he's in Network. He's one of the main characters in that. The
Absolutely
Conversation,
beautiful.
another Coppola film.
I've never seen that. It's on my list. It's huge on my list, but it's another expensive physical. I don't even think it's available on streaming. I'm not sure.
You can get it. I have a digital copy. I don't have the physical either because it was expensive. It was a limited release, and now it's like insane. But it's like, yeah. But honestly, I don't think I would buy it anyway because I like it. I appreciate it, but it's a very slow film, and it's like something you have to really. For me, I have to really be in the mood to want to watch it, and that's not something I'm going to pull off the shelf very often. Uh, like, hey, let's have popcorn and a drink, and we want the conversation. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like no. Even though I love the ending. He was all the Great Santini was another one. Oh, The Natural with Robert Redford. That was a great one, and his the one that won him the Oscar. I didn't even know he won the Oscar for Best Lead Actor. It was I didn't even heard of this movie until I was looking up his IMDb page. He was in a film called Tender Mercies in 1983, where he played a country singer, a down on his luck country singer. So I guess like a Jeff Bridges Crazy Heart type role.
Sure.
Uh, and that won him the Oscar for lead actor, which was the only time he won that Oscar because, as you pointed out, he's usually known for playing a lot of supporting roles or character roles rather than leads.
And I've never seen Tender Mercies. I've never seen The Great Santini, which is blasphemy. And The Natural.
Yeah.
Like I like baseball movies, but I've never seen The Natural. I think I rented it once and never actually put it in the VCR.
Yeah. Oh, of course, Apocalypse Now, where he's. I mean, I'm surprised at how much people talk about that one because he's not in it for very much, only a few minutes or whatever. And it's just because of that line, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. And again, going back to that Conan interview, he says, more fans come up to me and they'll corner me and say that line in such a way as if we're the only two people who understand what it means. And it's like, it's so weird. But, and it's such a weird line too. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. Makes you sound like a real psychopath to say that, given what the napalm is being used for.
But I
Uh,
think that was the point. Like, and I think
right.
it's a very impactful. It kind of reminds me of like when Christopher Walken shows up in True Romance. I love Christopher Walken in
Mhm.
True Romance. He's in it for 7 minutes.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh, he was also in a film phenomenon, which filmed right here in my town, with John Travolta in the mid '90s.
I love
About
that movie.
yeah,
I love that movie.
it's been a long time since I've seen it. For the longest time, a poster would be up in the uh, one of the antique shops in Old Town advertising it, and um,
Actually,
one of our
that looks
friends
more
was
like
an
a zombie.
extra. Yeah, one of our friends was an extra in that movie as well. But I know that he gets struck by lightning right on the spot where they had the last public hanging it.
Oh,
And
really?
if you look closely on the ground, there's like a tiny plaque in the street that demarks the site where I think it was a guy who murdered his wife or something like that. Oh, and another one that's a Nicolas Cage classic is Gone in 60 Seconds, where he
Sure.
is his mentor inside the garage. Uh, Atlee. Oh no, what's his character's name? It's Otto. Okay, Otto. I guess he didn't have a dumb name like all the other characters did. Uh, I admit that Gone in 60 Seconds, the car chase is garbage compared to the one from the original, but the bulk of the filmmaking is better than the original because they just had non-actors in the original movie, and the first half is so hard to get through because He basically shot the longest car chase ever. He wanted to get it on a movie screen, so he needed to get it to fit at least 80 minutes of runtime. So he added like 35, 40 minutes of just atrocious story to start the film. And so I can say that in the Nicolas Cage versions, or the Robert Duvall versions, favor that the story and the actual actors and caliber is better, even though the car chase doesn't hold a candle to it. But for some reason, I always remember Robert Duvall in that movie when I think of him. It's one of the first things I think of. It's him in that movie.
No, he's great, and same deal. As long as we're on the thick of it with cars. Hey, Gavin Blackburn. It's Days of Thunder. He was also in Days of Thunder, which is great.
Oh,
He's one of
that's
those
right.
grounding forces in such a we like. I just saw that movie for the first time a little while ago, and
His
that
character
was
name was Harry Hawk. Talk
pretty
about
rad.
you can tell that movie is written by somebody who doesn't know NASCAR. Uh, but that's quite funny.
But he kind of shows up as the sage in a lot of those movies, and
he does.
rightly so. Like, well, and one of his more high profile movies that he was in before his retirement would have been The Judge with Robert Downey Jr. That's kind of a.
I watched that one on the day that I heard that he died. I like that movie. A lot of people didn't. Yeah, it's full of cliches, but sometimes cliches work, and I think they worked pretty well there. He was very good in that movie.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot as well, and it's one of those things that it's almost a throwback to those sort of like Grisham courtroom dramas, but it adds enough family in there. The cast is excellent. And when I saw that movie, I was like, oh, I can't wait to see the next Robert Downey Jr. movie that isn't.
Yeah. Oh, did we lose Scott? Maybe Scott will come back. Okay, there you go. You're back. That's nice. Yes, but also another good one I liked him in was We Own the Night. That was the. Did you see that one?
No.
Oh, I like that one. That's the James Gray movie about the no longer existing night squad of the New York PD. That ended up getting broken up because of allegations of corruption and racial profiling, all that kind of stuff. But he plays a police captain, Bert Krasinski, and he has two sons, Mark Wahlberg, who's like the totally square, great cop, and then he has Joaquin Phoenix, who owns the nightclub and works with Russian gangsters. And, his whole family is like, the whole blue shield, we're total cops and all that kind of thing. And Joaquin's like the black sheep or whatever. And then the plot is that one day Wahlberg gets home from work and he gets shot in the head by somebody with a bag over his head. He survives, and because they suspect that the shooter had something to do with the brothers' work at the nightclub, Joaquin's like really shaken by that and decides that for the first time in his life he's actually going to try and help the cops to find out who did it and take him down. I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. 2 hours long. I would recommend that. It's from 2007. Set in 1988, back when that unit was around. But that's a good one I recommend. He also did a couple other westerns later in life. One was Open Range with Kevin Costner in 2003. That was quite popular. And then, of course, Broken Trail, which was, I believe that was actually a TV movie and broadcast on 2 nights, but you can get it as one like 3-hour thing on digital or probably on DVD. Broken Trail is with Thomas Hayden Church as well, and about them working for helping take care of 5 abandoned and abused Chinese girls in the Old West. And then Open Range was about 4 guys trying to escape their past, driving cattle, living off the land in the open range. Yeah, so those were from 2003 and 2006.
Well, and he seems to have done a lot of those. Like, again, you mentioned Lonesome Dove. He's done a lot of those westerns, and I'm a western fan, but my sort of, they called Unforgiven the last western, like the
right.
funeral for westerns. And so when I look back, Like, I guess, yeah, no, I like Tombstone. I'm trying to think of any
Yeah, I don't
modern.
understand why. I don't understand why Unforgiven got that reputation. Oh, this is the last one. It's like, why? Just because it's an anti-Western or whatever doesn't mean it's like
Yeah, I know.
yeah. Oh, and speaking, I mentioned Crazy Heart before as like Tender Mercies and Crazy Heart being a riff on that. Robert Duvall was in Crazy Heart as well.
Oh wow.
So that
Well, and going back, he was in True Grit, not the Jeff Bridges one, but the original.
oh, he was. I didn't realize that. I've only seen the original once. Oh, that's right. He is in that. Who did he play in that? He played Ned Pepper. Okay, yeah. That's interesting. I forgot about that. He was also in The Road. He plays like the when Viggo Mortensen and the kid come upon him as the old man, and they have a night at the campfire. He was in that. Kind of. I remember. I thought that was memorable anyway. Secondhand Lions is another kind of interesting one, a fun one that's kind of not talked about as much, where he and Michael Caine are like brothers, and this kid's sent to live with them in Texas on the farm, and they keep telling him these seemingly tall tales about their insane life, and the kid finds out that it's truer than you would think. Also in silly movies like Kicking and Screaming with Will Ferrell, the soccer movie, where once again he plays like the wise old guy in movies as DJ Play Nice points out.
Comic Relief Crusader is here. Hello, Comic Relief. Hey, DJ Play Nice is a fan of Secondhand Lions.
Hello, Comic Relief Crusader.
Ash brought up the other asteroid movie. He was the mission commander in Deep Impact, which I always the more realistic of the two apocalyptic asteroid movies. But I like them both. I like them both.
I think Armageddon's more entertaining though.
Armageddon is more entertaining, but Deep Impact, it seems to be a through line with Robert Duvall's. I keep wanting to call him Bobby D, but every time I call anybody Bobby D, they think I'm talking about Robert De Niro, but Robert Duvall is a Bobby D as well. So Bobby D always happens to have an emotional through line in the movies that he's playing. Like he wasn't an actor who sort of maintained his politics on his sleeve or talked about it very much. He was he was a humble man. He was an entertainer. He was proud of his craft, and his viewpoints came through his portrayals, what he chose to do and what not to do. And so I respect him as an artist very, very much. And again, like something like The Sixth Day, talking about cloning, John Q with Denzel Washington.
That's right.
He was, and he's a detective in that. There's sort of it's a commentary on healthcare. The Paper, the role of the Fifth Estate. I love The Paper. Ron Howard movie starring Michael Keaton and Marissa Tomei and Randy Quaid, clean shaven.
I don't think I've heard of this one. I'll have to put that on my watch list.
Oh, you got to. He's got one of the best line deliveries of "get the fuck out" in cinema history.
That's good to hear.
Yes.
Oh, apparently I already added it to my digital wish list and didn't even realize. Let's see. And then he's got another Western. He was in Geronimo, an American Legend from 1993.
Mm-hmm.
Not very well reviewed, but that's probably interesting.
But that's also around 1993. You've also got the Dancing with Wolves phenomena. Like, again, I'm thinking of the political impacts of other movies and whatnot. And so, sometimes the reviews they reflect the cultural zeitgeist.
Yeah, and you're right that The Judge was like his last major movie. After that, he got a couple direct to streaming things. Widow. He was in Widows. I forgot about that. That was 2018. So that was like the last big wide release movie he was in.
Did you ever see Get Low?
Ooh, I don't think so. Was he in that?
Yeah. So Get Low is a story of a very disliked man, and he decides to throw his own wake to find out what people really think about him. And Bill Murray plays the lawyer who orchestrates it all for him. And so it's Robert Duvall and Bill Murray. It's good. it's like a 6 out of 10. It's not going to blow your socks off, but it's decent. It's decent.
Mhm.
It's worth it. I don't think it's terribly long. I think it's only like hour and a half, hour and 45, but it's decent. It's quite good. Uh,
Oh, DJ Planeye says Judge. Wait, wasn't he the Judge Roy Bean too?
not 100% sure in terms of what, and this is the thing, DJ Play Nice. If you're talking about a Bobby D movie, I can look it up. Kat, do you want to look it up?
I should know this because the Roy Bean, the name is immediately recognizable. I'm just trying to
See, I'm
remember.
thinking of Billy Bean from Moneyball.
I'm trying to. God, Roy Bean.
Um,
Why am I blanking on this? I should know this.
all right. But yeah, people have mentioned that he was in Colors with Sean Penn. That's one that I.
All right.
All right. So what do we got? What do we got on Judge Roy Bean?
He was an actual judge, and Paul Newman played him in a movie. From 1825 to 1903. So not who I was thinking, unless I've seen it. Unless he's been referenced in a bunch of other stuff, maybe. Canadian Comic Relief Crusader says on Saturday I'm playing Morocco.
Delightful.
Yeah, so he's like a Duvall, really excellent character actor. A lot of people had everything wonderful to say about him.
I still want to. I just want to bring up Colors with Sean Penn, South Central LA, again in that sort of tinderbox of the era. I think it came out in like 89 or 90, maybe even a little around there. But that was 88. Yeah, so very pre tinderbox before Rodney King, and then Falling Down, of course. Come on, Falling Down is Prendergast. That is probably my second or third favorite, probably second favorite Rachel Ticotin movie. MASH. He was the original. What's his name? The guy. The guy. Needle Nose Burns. He was Burns in the original movie for that. And the one that I really wanted to highlight, because this is one of my favorites. It's a movie called The Outfit. It's from the 70s, and it's from a series of books. And they've adapted a couple of the books a lot of times, but the character's name is Parker. And it was originally on screen, directed by Boorman, John Boorman, in Point Blank. And Parker has been played by Lee Marvin, Jim Brown, Robert Duvall, Jason Statham, Mel Gibson. Like, I love that character. He is sort of
it says the character name from that movie is he plays as Earl Macklin in The Outfit with Joe Don Baker and Karen Black. This is a career thief. Earl Macklin pays no mind to the mobster's threat. He intends to put a big hurt on LA crime outfit. He, his girlfriend, and his partner will avenge the murder of his brother by cutting down gangland operations bit by violent bit. Based on the novel by Point Blank author Richard Stark, The Outfit has a feel and grit that makes it a throwback to film noirs of the 40s and 50s.
It is. They do change the name of the character throughout the actors that I just mentioned, but they are based on the books, and so they change. Like in what is it? Payback. Parker is named Porter. And so they do change. They take liberties with the character's name, but it is supposed to be the same, or it's based on the same character literarily. DJ Play Nice. Yes, it was a frozen beer. It's a beer Slurpee.
Yes, cool enough for it.
And then the last one that I've actually seen, The Eagle Has Landed. I do love my World War II flicks. I think
Yeah,
he even played Dwight Eisenhower in a TV miniseries.
perhaps. Yeah, he's got a lot there. But yeah, that was 95, life well lived.
Yes.
There was one more on here that I forgot to mention, which Ash mentioned earlier. Let's see, where did she post it?
Catherine O'Hara.
Yes, wherever that. Yeah, here it is. Yes, that
Uh,
was just last month on the 31st. That kind of came out of nowhere.
well, and
Um,
she's legendary. She is also a
yeah,
legend, and that was a little bit more sudden. Was she early 70s when she passed?
71.
Hmm.
Uh, I just marathoned Schitt's Creek actually for the last 2 weeks. Uh, Not as funny as I'd been led to believe. A few good laughs. I like the characters though. I was invested in the story. I find it funny because she's playing like in a way an even more exaggerated version of the character she played in Beetlejuice. Uh, Same kind of nutty, artsy type conceited person, but it was pretty funny. But yeah, that was another shock one.
Well, and what I just when I went to the Criterion Closet at Toronto International Film Festival last year, I picked up After Hours, and
Yep.
Catherine O'Hara was in a Scorsese movie, and I was like, get out of here. But she's been in a bunch. Like there's stuff that no, I thought that she was crazy talented, and obviously being Canadian and Second City and all that jazz. She's a Toronto woman, and one of the things, ironically, when she passed on, what I had to see was her eulogy for John Candy. And so, because that was one of the most touching things that I think I've ever heard anybody say about another human being. And
I don't
I
think I've
didn't,
heard that.
yeah, it's on YouTube, but it is quite touching. Hey, FKHC 2005. It's the Cat and Scotty show. It is. It actually, it's the Robert Duvall show. He's just letting us hang out.
Yes, indeed. Because we're cool enough to hang out. Well,
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going through her resume as well. That's yeah, a lot of stuff there.
Well, and obviously you got Home Alone, Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Uh,
Harper and Bessie's Wedding.
and then
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas, but the Christopher Guest movies as well. Like,
yeah,
she was in a bunch of those. I don't think I've seen a single Christopher Guest movie. Not Best in Show, not Mighty Wind, not For Your Considerate. Never seen any of them. Or at least they didn't stick with me.
Yeah, I'm familiar with him, but I don't think I've seen his movies either. I've heard of his movies though.
But
yeah, Ash is yeah, I just learned that she played Sally. I was shocked, had no idea. Yep. Well, and she voiced one of the witch from the same movie, Lock, Stock, and Barrel from Nightmare Before Christmas. The girl, the witch character with the witch's hat.
Okay.
She voiced her too.
That's cool.
Ash says Best in Show is worth the watch. It's heap funny if you like dry humor.
Well, and I also like dogs.
DJ Plain Ice says, "Come on, Scotty, you got it. Best in Show and Mighty Wind are awesomely funny."
Hey, I'm not gonna say I'm not deficient. I'm deficient in my Guffmans and my Christopher Guests.
Have you seen anything else lately? We haven't been on here for a while,
What did I? Well, I just got the Criterion Collection for Jacques Tati's Playtime, if you'll allow me to be pretentious for a little bit. Criterion just released it, or re-released it. I know that they had a box set, but they had the individual. I didn't want to get the whole box set. But I heard that it was a visually stunning French comedy from 1968 or 9. And it absolutely was. If you're a fan of sort of the Peter Sellers, Inspector Clouseau, but take away the dialogue. It's all, and I wouldn't even say pratfall, but it is gags. It's all visual comedy, and it works so very, very well. It's charming. The soundtrack is delightful. And then I was on a French kick, so I saw Jean-Luc Godard's Alphaville for the first time. And that is, again, very visually stunning, very stylistic, and prescient in terms of the artificial intelligence taking over and modernity, sort of kicking everyone in the ass, and hopefully human emotion and empathy and love can conquer. And so I was in that kind of headspace. It was just after I had got, my God, I sound like I've got my own film school going on. And then I watched Metropolis, the complete Metropolis. I saw that. This is all on home video, because that is obviously where my movie dollars go. I can go smoke, or I play the movie in the middle of the night when I can't leave my room.
That's right. I just saw Casablanca last Saturday on Valentine's Day in a theater for the first time.
That was for the first time.
Yeah. I mean, I have the Blu-ray and I've seen that a lot, but I saw it at Tower, and that was really fun to see a packed house.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, with an audience, it's like they're all kind of responding with it at the same time, so that was quite fun. Another Godard film I would recommend, which is hysterical, is called Weekend.
Oh.
That's a dystopic, really funny, bizarre, surrealist film, but I thought it was hilarious.
Well, it's just that framing, it's that cinematography, and with Playtime, I was just fascinated by that he had built his own, what they called Tativille. And and there's an introduction on there from Terry Jones from Monty Python, which, you know, it's nice to revisit these not just the characters that they perform, but these artists who are sort of supporting other artists. That's one of the reasons why I like Criterion so much, is that there are those sort of introductions.
Well, yeah, and it's like I know you mentioned the Jacques Tati set. When they announced that sold out in like of their first stock, like in minutes. I had no idea that it was going to resonate that. But other box sets, they're available for a long time, but I think they eventually reprinted it. But I was like, man.
They did, but this was sort of, and it wasn't a cheap. It was a choice between getting Playtime or getting Megalopolis, and I was like, well,
how would you get Megalopolis?
It's an import. It's a British import, but it's region free.
Oh, so they did release it overseas.
Overseas, they did, and then I was like, do I want to get this so I have it like a hoarder? Or do I want to get something that I heard was actually good? Because I've seen Megalopolis, and I'm happy with Megalopolis.
That's funny, because he said he pulled that from release because he wanted to do the roadshow thing, and he wanted it to build more of an audience before release. I didn't think he would let it be released overseas. That's interesting.
It might be an old print. They may not be reprinting it. I'm not 100% sure.
As I remember, I pre-ordered it on Amazon, and they canceled my pre-order because he pulled the thing.
Well, let me check. Let me see if it's still available. Let's do live shopping with Scott.
His relative or whatever runs the distribution company that was going to release it. So when he announced that he was canceling it, it's like, wow, you canceled on your own cousin or nephew or whoever it was, or however the relationship was. But then I found out that it was actually Coppola's choice to do that. They did screen it last August at the Palace of the Fine Arts with an after viewing Q&A, or not a Q&A, but a talk with Coppola about the future of societies and things like that. I didn't go because it was too much money.
Yeah, I could if I had the money and the inclination. But again, seeing Playtime and knowing that the box set for the Tati is out there, and I probably would end up going and sort of selling my Playtime and then picking up the box set, as long as all the features are there for Playtime, and getting the Tati, because that's available on Amazon as well.
DJ Play Night says I might try Megalopolis again, but I already tried 3 or 4 times.
I find that movie absolutely riveting. The first time I saw it, I thought it was riveting. And the second time, I was like, no, this is still good. I'm in. I'm in. It's fucking weird. It's fucking crazy, but I like it. But then I was like, do I like it because it's a novelty? I don't know if I like it because it's good. But then again, I own Howard the Duck and Short Circuit Part 2. So my
Well, I
quality
saw
meter is,
I saw Megalopolis 3 times. Uh,
well, you win.
in theaters. I thought it was very weird and different. And I'm like, I could tell it was just something batshit, and I wanted to see it more than once. So that was fun. FKHC asks, have we seen Caligula?
I
No,
have
but
not.
I am aware that they finally put out like the unedited cut or whatever, or the final cut, and Malcolm McDowell was singing its praises that it was finally getting released, because the version that the studio cut up, it made it look like just a cheap porno or something, and it got the horrible reviews at the time. And he's like, no, the studio butchered the edit of that movie, and they finally put out the proper version. Just I think it was last year, the year before, maybe. Um, but I here it is. It's the what's it called? The
Didn't Terrier
ultimate
get that?
maybe
I
the
thought
ultimate cut,
Terrier, friend of the show.
2 hours 58 minutes. Yeah, it's an extensive reconstruction of the notorious 1980s spectacle. Shadowed by the murder of his family, Caligula eliminates his devious adoptive grandfather and seizes control of the Roman Empire alongside his wife before descending into a spiral of depravity, destruction, and madness. Yeah, and it was like an actual, sword and sandals era movie that was apparently good. Unlike a lot of these, which have like blood that the Coen brothers famously made fun of those in Hail Caesar, where they're like, yeah, we grew up watching these types of movies, and they're all terrible. uh, but he's like, yeah, this was a version that was really good, and just it didn't. Uh,
Well, and
yeah.
when as FKH says, when the production company is a penthouse, you know what you will get. Bob Guccione, yeah.
That's true. It was, but it's kind of like how there have been these H.P. Lovecraft story adaptations, like From Beyond and Reanimator, and they shoehorn in this BDSM crap that's not from the book. And I'm like, okay, I could tell that this is how you got funding for this to make it like a low key porno, to get the funding to make the film in the first place.
Hey,
Hello,
Herc.
Herc. DJ Play Night says Caligula was marketed like Penthouse in the day. Yeah, probably, because that's how the movie got cut. It's like, you're right though. It's like they financed the movie probably wanting it to be a porno. They were probably upset that they saw that, oh, this is actually an epic and probably good movie, so we got to cut it back down to make it look like what our target audience would expect it to be.
But that's also like Bob Guccione was a publishing. He did Omni, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and he did some magazines that are like not Penthouse, and so he did sort of spread his wings to other interests. But anytime anybody gets into publishing like that, and it's like, you know what we're gonna do? It's like Randall in Clerks 3. It's like, I'm gonna make a movie. And it's like, okay, all right. And so he falls back on what he thinks is gonna sell, and that's tits and ice.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, no, it's so that's basically what I saw. Some of that is physical releases. If I forgot to, I usually bring my stack of stuff, but yeah.
And since we have new people here who haven't been here for a while, I guess I'll just mention
Yeah.
some of the other new movies that Ernesto and I were reviewing that we saw. I saw 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. I liked it a lot more than the last one. Very visceral. One of the most disturbing scenes that I've probably seen since A Clockwork Orange in terms of how well executed it was.
Oh wow.
Unfortunately, that movie did not do well, and I don't think they're going to make the third one now. Because
I thought they had already done it.
The first two were done at the same time, but then they greenlit the third one when they screened this one 2 months ago for critics because the reception was so over the top. But then the movie like tanked, and so they're probably like, Cillian Murphy's one of the producers on it, and he says, yeah, whether or not it depended on whether or not the second movie did well. and
That's
it
so
didn't. It's because they put it out in mid-January. They thought they were being cute by releasing it exactly 28 weeks after the previous film. And
yeah.
it's like, no, you should have pushed it back to April or given it. Most people thought the marketing was for like a re-release of something because it was so close after the first one. And a lot of people were turned off by the first one because the trailer for 28 Years Later was so good, and then the movie was like completely different. So there was that. I also saw the Anaconda reboot comedy. I was in the mood for a dumb Jack Black comedy, and that's what I got, so can't really complain.
Any good? Worth it?
I gave it 3 out of 5, 3.5. I thought it was funny and dumb and properly stupid.
Sure.
Because it's doing it tongue in cheek style, unlike the first one, which wants you to take it very seriously.
You know what? You just learned me on something. Is that you've been going out of 5, and it took me a little while to figure this out. I always thought you were doing out of 4.
No, I'm doing out of 5.
Well, I know. I just found this out recently. And so when you were rating things 3, I was like, everything's 80% for her.
Well, no, because even when I post in the chat, I always put /5 to make it clear that it's out of 5 stars.
And also, I can't read, so I don't know what I'm doing in that chat.
Herc130 says Shallow Hal is a good Jack Black movie. Yes, some of it hasn't aged as well as it could have, but it's still a cute movie, I'd say.
Yeah, that burn victim unit, that's a little much. Although I do think
I like that part. It's just that some of the humor in that was really like you look back on it, and some of it was not very.
A lot of it is forgiven by the fact that it is. I don't think that Gwyneth Paltrow has ever been hotter in any movie other than Shallow Hal. That was like, because it was a plot point that she was supposed to be the most beautiful woman in the world. She is the most beautiful woman in the world in that movie.
Yeah.
At least I think so. I don't know. And I'm not talking about when she's thin either. But boom. No, I'm kidding. I've banana hands.
Yeah, and I saw Avatar, and the visuals were great, but it was like, it's funny. I thought the second movie was like a bridge to the third movie, but then I watched the third movie, and I'm like, this is just the second movie again. And despite making $1.5 billion, James Cameron said that Disney told him that we're not making the next one unless you can figure out how to make these movies cheaper, because it cost $400 million because of how expensive all the rendering was for the CG.
That is
look good.
I find that fascinating. I find that absolutely ridiculous because there's so many. You hear about people making movies for foreign markets, and everyone, whenever an Avatar gets announced, it's like, why is he making another one? No one. Okay, it was flash in the pan, and then the second one came out and it did just the same kind of money. I think it is a global phenomenon, and studios want
logic. Yeah,
like it doesn't, and it's like, okay, there is obviously a global market for this film. Now, can you make it cheaper? And it's like, well, then people aren't going to fucking see it, you dummy. Like, I just don't understand the mentality of studios, and also I don't understand the mentality of audiences. And it's like, as you said, like that they try and market a movie 28 weeks after the last one, and because of the short attention span of audiences, they're like, well, maybe it's a re-release, no, it's a different movie. Like, but then movies in general. Why do you think I'm going back and watching Jacques Tati and Jean-Luc Godard? Yeah, exactly. Sick and tired of all this fucking bullshit when it comes to box office. Anyway, don't forget to come by Cinema Gulp tomorrow night, where Kat and I are going to be joining Ben to talk about bullshit like box office.
Oh, here's something.
Hey, Tiger.
Tiger Stripes. She says, word is that in Gwyneth Paltrow's high school yearbook, she answered the question greatest fear with obesity.
Oh, my.
I can believe that she would say that, given other things she said.
Yes. That reminds me, I have to buy some new candles.
I think the most despite that, I think one of the most ridiculous things I ever heard her say, it was on the Graham Norton. I think it was on the Graham Norton show, where she said that she doesn't think she could ever play somebody who isn't rich again. I'm like, what does that mean? You're an actress. Like, I don't understand that's what that means.
That's so. I think one of my favorite Gwyneth Paltrow's movies is Sliding Doors. I love that, like that parallel universe between the mousy and the reinvigorated, and I love that flick.
Tiger Stripe follows up with I love Jack in High Fidelity, but haven't seen him do much better or different since then. Yeah, he was good in that, and I liked him in The Holiday. A lot of people make fun of the idea that he would be a romantic co-lead. I'm like, what does it matter? It's like, they're like, oh, how could she be running off to some guy like Jack Black and it's Kate Winslet? I'm like, because they deliberately cast this hot guy to play the jerk, and she's deliberately trying to get away from that, and she's not responding to what he looks like. She's responding to how nice of a person that he is. And so what? Just because he doesn't look like, McDreamy or whatever, doesn't mean he can't be a nice person that you'd have a relationship with.
Well, and it's kind of the opposite. It's kind of the opposite of Shallow Hal, right? Where it's like she does see the good in him, and he's being a nice person. And sometimes beauty isn't just skin deep.
Tiger Stripe says, I think that referring to like her Gwyneth's statement that she can't play people who aren't rich anymore. I think that means she doesn't want to look bad or poor and fashionably dressed. I don't think so. The way she answered the question was kind of, loftier than that. Oh, I can't, play those types of people.
But that's also like, that's been a punchline for celebrities for a long time. It's like, you're not in touch with, you can't relate to the common people. But also, let's not forget, when you get into a movie and it's like, okay, part of my contract is I get to keep the wardrobe. Well, what's the point if you're going to be dressed like a poor?
Mm.
You want a free wardrobe that's expensive.
Tiger Stripe says, I did think of The Holiday, but that film is generally charming. Jack just slipped into all that charm. Yes. And I found out that, the director wrote that part for him, hoping that he would take it. So that was kind of neat. Also, oh yes, DJ Plain Ice writes that the Tenacious D TV show was his funniest stuff. Yeah, that was really funny. I've just got into that recently because they got it on HBO Max. Because that's another show I missed back in the day. Let's see. Oh, and Herc chimes in, says School of Rock is my favorite Jack Black movie. Had a sweetness to it. Yes, it did, and that's a very popular film, and I think they did a musical even. Yeah, like Belushi and Continental Divide. I haven't seen that one.
I'm gonna write it down.
Yeah, let's see, what else did I see? I saw the James Brooks movie, Ella McKay. That wasn't very good.
Yeah, I heard that was sort of like
I don't think he realizes that the movie has more of a downer ending than he thinks.
Well, no spoilers.
No,
but it's a downer ending. Okay,
it's on Hulu now. If anybody has that, you can watch it there.
I'll be back in a flash.
Yeah. Let's see, what else did I watch recently? But yeah, that's another point that that DJ raises. Can she no longer relate? Is that why she can't play rich people? I don't know. I mean, it seems like, is it really? I mean, it's not like you're an alien because you're rich. You should be able to play the part. But then again, she's also a person who was asked about, which Marvel movie in now? She's like, I don't even know the titles of those things. Like, I'm better than this. I'm just doing this for the money type thing, I don't know the names of those. And then I remember somebody brought that up in an interview with Tom Holland, and he's like, well, I always know the names of the movies that I'm in. It's kind of funny. Yes. Let's see. Jack Black was good on The Fall Guy. He wasn't in The Fall Guy, was he? Are you talking about the movie from 2024 with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt? Or are you talking about something else? I don't remember him being in that. Let's see. Tiger Stripe says, but when it comes to Jack, he's been phoning in his acting performances for 20 years now? Oh, for sure. He just shows up and he plays the same ridiculous. It's basically the character he's playing is when he's goofing around in School of Rock, and he's playing that version of that character and everything that he's done. Whereas in Anaconda, they actually tried to make it a story where he's a guy who really wanted to be a great filmmaker and moved to LA, but he didn't because he got cold feet, and instead shoots these awesome wedding videos, which are like homages of his favorite movies. And Paul Rudd's his like best friend is like, we should go reboot Anaconda to live our childhood dream that we never got to live type thing. And it's funny because they make out the Paul Rudd character to be even more irresponsible than the Jack Black character in that movie, which is surprising. Let's see. Herc says one of Jack Black and Kaylee Kiyoko was Northern Exposure. They did one episode each. I heard about that show only within the last year. I hadn't been watching shows like that at the time that it was on, but I thought, okay, that sounds kind of interesting for a sitcom. But yeah. Tiger Stripe says a lot of great people did Northern Exposure. Herc says one of their first roles. Don't know why that didn't type out. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, Gwyneth just straight up didn't recognize Tom Holland. See, that's exactly. Oh, that's funny. Oh, and the TV show. Okay, I see what you're referring to now. One of Jack's early roles was an episode of The Fall Guy. Okay, that was a show I would like to see, but I did not see it.
Have you ever seen The Never-Ending Story 2?
I don't think I saw the sequel. No.
He was in it.
Yeah, that's right. Tiger Stripe. I've never seen Northern Exposure, but I heard about it, so I we'll have to look it up and see where I can
just
find
the
it.
Rob Morrow seasons. Once they get rid of Rob Morrow, you don't have to watch anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least that's my opinion.
Okay.
But yeah, it's what are you looking forward to in the coming weeks?
I'm looking forward to Scream 7 next week.
Okay.
I'm gonna see that. I always forget like what's coming out. Like I don't know. I mean, I know at the end of the year we got Dune and Doomsday, but I can't remember what the big summer movies are supposed to be. Oh yeah, we got the Odyssey. So Odyssey for sure. Spider-Man Brand New Day, which I admittedly was disappointed by the synopsis, but I'll still see it. Because I just thought they had the opportunity to tell a really great Peter Parker story, a la Spider-Man 2, or Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, which is mostly Peter Parker's story, where they just Doc Ock's just there for the sake of having the action. It doesn't really thematically tie in as much, but no, they decided they're just going to do a 4-year time jump to move ahead with the whole shared universe crap. We have to keep. It's like, oh, geez. But there's that, and I don't know what else is really coming out this year. I never really look ahead that much unless somebody tells me. Like I find out, it's like, oh, okay, here's this coming out. Like I'd heard about Crime 101, and I didn't realize it was going to be released in February. I'm like, oh, that's surprising. So I went to see it last week.
When is Project Hail Mary coming out?
Oh, that's next month sometime. I think it's towards the end of the month.
And so Project Hail Mary is like, and I'm just thinking of immediate horizon, is that's one that I want to see. Although the trailer makes me think that the little alien sidekick guy is going to die, and that's going to make me sad. And that's not confirmed. I don't know anything about it. I just saw a trailer in front of Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, and I was like, yeah, he's probably gonna die. And then I've been looking forward to this since, I don't even know what movie I saw it was in front of, but they've been playing this trailer in front of every movie I have been seeing. So I've seen 2 trailers in theaters, not online, for The Bride. I want to see The Bride so bad. Like, I love the original Bride of Frankenstein, and I love Jessie Buckley, and I want to see Christian Bale as the monster.
Yeah, the official description is mistaken because it says, they call him Frankenstein. I'm like, no, he's Frankenstein's monster. But I kept forgetting that was you're right. I've been seeing that trailer everywhere too, but for some reason those trailers aren't grabbing me. I mean, I'll still see it, but I don't know.
There's just something about, I don't know. It's the same kind of thing. Like I saw when I heard about, and I did see the trailer for Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. And it is very punchy. It's rhythmic. It made me be like, okay, I want to see this. And with The Bride, it looks just off the wall. It looks really, really cool looking.
DJ Play Night says, yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
new Spielberg movie, Disclosure Day. I forgot about that. That's coming out
Yep.
on June 12th. Supergirl,
That'll
that's
be
right. It's
interesting.
also a summer movie. See, I forget about everything until people chime in.
I
And
do want to see Supergirl. I think
yes,
that Millie Alcock looks great as Supergirl, and apparently it's an adaptation. Have you read The Woman of Tomorrow?
no.
And so I want to, based on it being sort of a faithful adaptation of a sort of recent uh, uh, comics run. I do want to check it out.
Uh, oh yeah, the Tiger Stripes says I think the Bride movie looks hideous. Blah.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, but yeah, I know. Sometimes our tastes don't align, Tiger.
Tiger Stripes says, yeah, I'm not even sure I'll watch the new Wuthering Heights for free someday. It doesn't sound good. Yeah, I just saw that last week. I gave a brief review earlier in the show. They're trying to reimagine it basically as this acrimonious teen romance, thirsty romance type thing. And it's like I said before that if you're not gonna do a faithful, if you're gonna remake something, don't do like a shot for shot or scene for scene remake because you don't need that. Do something different with it. And so Emerald Fennell did something different with it, but is it really that interesting? Not really. Yeah, just you can go back earlier in the review and I talk about it. Just
But
Heathcliff
you
trying to
didn't
get
mention
revenge on her instead of getting revenge on Edgar. So
there is one question my boorish sensibilities have to ask.
yeah,
Nudity?
no.
Forget it.
I had to think about that. I was like, no, I don't think so. There is a
Lemon.
hint. There is a hint of BDSM in it, though.
Yeah,
Not
I'm too vanilla for that.
not between the leads, though. Surprisingly, with supporting characters. But yeah, it looked really pretty to look at. Cinematography and set design and costumes and all that. But oh, hello, Lemon. Welcome.
Lemon. And then I guess we do have the pageant coming up. We do have the annual celebration of all things Hollywood. Movies are magical, hosted by Conan O'Brien. The
Oh,
Oscars
yeah,
are on their way.
that's true. I forgot about that. And that'll be. I don't know why I'm so tired. It'll be out March 15th, I believe, is the Oscars this year. Yeah.
And
They've had the
so,
DGAs. They've had. I don't know if they've had the PGAs yet or the WGA awards, but they did have the DGAs. And
and yeah.
then the actor one is next. I don't know why they changed the name. They changed it from the Screen Actors Guild Awards to just the Actors Guild Award. I'm like, well, that's misleading because Screen Actors Guild is specific about the fact that it's specifically for people in like movies and television as opposed to like stage actors. So that was a bit odd. I don't know why they changed that, but
I don't know. Maybe they threw in some more categories.
Tiger Stripe says, and the Oscars are on YouTube, not broadcast. No, the Oscars will not. The first year they will be on YouTube is in 2029. This year it's going to be on
ABC.
ABC. Yeah, I think it's still ABC.
Maybe Disney Plus. Maybe Disney Plus.
Yeah, as a co-stream thing, probably. But yeah, 2029 is going to have the best viewership just because people are just going to watch it and fast forward through it or whatever when instead of watching the whole show live. Because everybody who's been to the Oscars always complains afterwards that the show's just too damn long, which it is. I think it's ridiculous that in the first half hour they only get one award out because they let the host go crazy for like 25 minutes.
Yeah, but it's Conan O'Brien. It's fine.
Yeah, you can get Conan O'Brien, anywhere, anytime. But I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
I just find it inconsistent where the host is like prevalent in the first half of the show and then they kind of disappear for the second half.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't think I watched last year. And this year I still haven't seen Sinners. I did see One Battle After Another. And aside from that, I'm not 100% sure what all is nominated. But
I think those are the two front runners as far as the up from the major categories. The other one, Hamnet, is up for a lot of awards as well.
Jesse Buckley, yeah.
That's right. I saw that. I wasn't crazy about it. It's a movie that's trying to be emotionally manipulative. It doesn't really have a lot of character development. They're just trying to show you all the super sad aspects of this family, but the last half hour or so at the Globe Theater was excellent, but you just got to sit through the first 90 minutes to get there.
Oh, and what else? That
And Jesse
fantastic.
Buckley was good.
Mhm.
Jesse Buckley was good, but I think Sally Hawkins was better and Bring Her Back. But that got
Okay.
overlooked because it's a hardcore horror movie.
And what's that Mr. Fantastic movie? The Timothée Chalamet movie?
Oh, Marty Supreme.
Yes.
I think
Sorry,
the
Mr.
only
Fantastic, Marty Supreme, same diff.
I think the only serious contention that has is for the script. It was pretty good, but I don't think that will get it. But he'll probably win for the Oscar. Oh, that's right. The Tiger Stripe says they used to open the Oscars with a musical number. I missed that. Yeah, they did. And they used to perform all 5 of the nominated songs, or however many were nominated. And they don't really do that anymore either.
They do sort of take a denouement to like that last year they did the James Bond thing.
Yeah, that was weird. Which movie was emotion made? Hamnet, the one with Jessie Buckley playing Shakespeare's wife, and how they're making the illusion that the death of their son inspired Hamlet, which it didn't. But okay, it's just it's a movie, whatever.
Well,
okay, I am talking so fast, I can't keep up. Lemon Pie says, someone paying praise to Robert said he was a great actor. In addition to that, was not an asshole. That's true. Nobody had a bad word to say about Robert Duvall.
No. He was again, he was an artist. He was humble, and he never let quote unquote stardom go to his head. Like, he was always just there to do the job, and he did it as best he could, and he would support the production. And one of the cool thing in that little Norm Macdonald back and forth that he had was to try and make it be real. You just listen and respond, and you just try and be in the moment as much as possible. And so whether or not he was on a spaceship trying to destroy a giant rock, or if he was the consigliere, he always brought an honesty and a truth to the situation. And he will be missed, but 95 years and quite a body of work.
Mm-hmm. Tiger Stripe says, I have heard that he did not like to be interrupted when he was in character on set. But then who would? Exactly. No, nobody probably would. Christian Bale really hates that.
Yes, famously.
Tiger Stripe says, Hamnet, Shakespeare's wife. Wow, what a concept. I was in a college play about Shakespeare's early life. Ooh, that sounds fun.
That does.
Mm-hmm. I think it's funny that the replica of the Globe Theater is actually built across the street from where the original one was. And they made it look exactly the same. So it's still like an open air outdoor theater that they still do performances at. So that's kind of neat.
That is rad.
I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we've been going an hour and a half. We've seen other films. But yeah, Ernesto and I every week are going back and forth between reviewing Batman comics and doing our From the Pile, where we shame each other over movies we had only just watched for the first time before the show started. And then we review each of said movies. And that's been a fun series, simply titled From the Pile. DJ Planet says, the Globe was much smaller than I thought it would be.
You've been. That's awesome.
What's he referring to?
The Globe Theater.
Oh, right. See, I'm out of it today.
That's why I was trying to help.
Probably because I went outside in the snow, and I don't like that. That's the other movie. Yeah, I did see Marty Supreme. That was a very good movie. And he does, Chalamet plays like a total asshole, and it's like the Safdie brothers' other film, Good Time and Uncut Gems, the same type of idea. A bad person doing bad things, and it's like a train wreck that you're watching, and you can't stop watching it. But I think between the 3 leads of those films, Chalamet is the most jackass of them, for sure.
Yeah, I just saw Uncut Gems a little while ago, and I was like, my spine was leaving my body. The amount of like, oh my God, how much of this do I have to endure? and you're with it with the character. And I did end up, it took me a couple of goes to watch it. Like I'd pause it and then walk away and then, just get the heebie jeebies out of me and then go back and continue to watch it. But yeah, it was just like, okay, so this is what's going to happen. I know this is what has to happen. And just when you think it's not going to happen, it happens. And
That's a
so,
movie where I saw that in theaters, and it was like opening night, and we had like not the front row, but pretty close.
oh,
And I was like motion sickness by the time it ended, and so I went back and watched it at home on Blu-ray, and I liked it a lot more because I wasn't sick watching it.
but see, and I liked Good Time. Like I have Good
Yep.
Time on Blu-ray.
Mm.
Sure, I stole it from a guy, but
Tiger Stripe says, "Did the snow discombobulate?" Yeah, it did. Because my shoes are the specially made shoes. They have no traction on the bottom of it, so I gotta be really careful walking out, especially in the snow and the ice. And it was, 32 degrees outside, so it wasn't bad. But then getting into the office that I had to go to this morning, the snow was not great. And then getting back and trying to fight the way back inside. I was surprised. I got up this morning. I'm like, wow, it's snowing and there's snow everywhere. I didn't think it was going to do that, but it only does that once every 4 years up here. I mean, granted, we do have a blizzard coming through right now, but that's mostly up in the Sierras. Lemon Pie says, "Can you get me off the hook for old time's sake? Can't do it." Godfather. Yep, that's a great line.
Lemon,
I'm making.
that is probably the my number one Godfather quote. Can't do it, Sally, because it's to Sal, played by Abe Vigoda, and that is whenever anybody asks me when I'm in a position of employment, and they're like, "Can you do this for me?" And it's like, "Can't do it, Sally." In fact, I think that Rob even uses that in Free Enterprise. I think that Eric McCormick's character says, "Can't do it, Sally."
Yeah, and that was such a. It's like, yeah, you're all going to be stubborn and kill each other because you're dumb and you're mobsters, but okay.
Yeah,
that's something the mob movies always trying to make mobsters look smart, but the cops and the feds who investigate them say that the average IQ of a mobster isn't actually that high. Which is probably why they kill each other so much over petty things. Because everything has to be lethal. It's like, as somebody who's broken their leg twice now, you could probably just do that to somebody as a punishment to suffice rather than having to resort to murder all the time. But I don't know, just my 2 cents on it.
murder's more cinematic.
More cinematic. Oh, poor guy. Oh, thank you, Tiger Stripes. Murder would be cinematic, but in The Godfather, you don't get to see that. Well, you do get to see it at the diner, but
Well, and also what happens to Sonny. Actually, that was something that you had posted, and I know it's a meme that has been circulating. Not maybe more of a tribute than a meme. Is that at the end of Godfather Part 2, everybody who leaves the table leaves in the order in which they passed away in real life. So, Vincent Cazale,
John Cazale.
John Cazale, my mistake. John Cazale, then Sonny, James Caan, and then Robert Duvall, and then the only one sitting at the table is Al Pacino. And I thought that was all, while coincidental, I wouldn't call it prescient, but also kind of touching just to have that image.
Yeah, that was really, when I saw that, I'm like, wow, that is nuts, but of course, he still sits at the table, so they won't be able to finish the meme. But,
they will one day.
Well, no, because his character, I don't think in that scene gets up from the table. He just remains sitting at the table.
Oh, he just stays seated.
I think he just stays seated. That was great. Yeah, we do have a good show tonight. Got Lemon, Tiger Stripes. Yeah, people we haven't seen in the chat for quite a long time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would like to join the From the Pile.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, everybody's welcome to join that show. That's we will be doing that next Thursday. It'll be I believe, is it the 5th or 6th episode? One of the other. And You could pick any kind of genre, whatever you want. I got a whole list of things that I could pick. So and we usually do one. The first time we did two movies, but it's like, no, it's too much. We'll just do one each. Uh, oh, look at this. DJ Plain Ice, member for 17 months.
Thank you.
Mm. Lemon S. Was the song Sonny Came Home about Sonny and the Godfather? Probably not.
No. Sonny Came Home. Is that like M. Griner or something? Like, no. But I like where your head's at, Lemon. It's not M. Griner, but I do know the song. It's like it's sort of one of those Lilith Fair songs.
Yeah,
Sonny Came Home.
Oh, I saw the Toxic Avenger reboot thing that was finally released.
How was that? How was that?
You know, I expected it to go even harder into the insanity, but it doesn't. It surprisingly felt a little bit restrained. It's funny because they marketed this. Oh, it has to be a midnight movie because of how insane it is, and it's like, you know, there's only a couple scenes which are really over the top, but not enough, I would think, to say that they couldn't give it a normal wide release. It was fun and silly. I admit that I was surprised to find that Elijah Wood wasn't really the villain of the movie, even though he certainly looks like the way the marketing was going. As the totally creepy appearance, like channeling Penguin and Batman Returns practically, with the totally gaunt, sallow face with the black goop drizzling from his mouth or whatever. And yet Kevin Bacon's the villain. And playing like the funny, you know, slightly exaggerated version of Kevin Bacon, but he plays a industrial. He owns like an industrial plant, and they're leaking toxic waste everywhere, and he's trying to cover it up, and it's funny. Peter Dinklage, however, only plays the Toxic Avenger in the scenes when he's human, and then he voices the character afterwards. But they got somebody else to play him in costume, and I'm not sure what the reasoning was for that. Maybe they couldn't afford to have him on set very long. I don't know. But it was okay. I expected it to be more balls to the walls insane. The opening scene was pretty good, though. Yeah, I'm glad it finally got released, though. And I saw Begonia, the new Yorgos Lanthimos film with Emma Stone. That was luscious cinematography. Jesse Plemons was great, but it very much ticked all the boxes of the typical captive captor storyline. And there was one major plot contrivance in the end of the movie that really bugged me. I'm like, that's too ridiculously convenient that it kind of broke my immersion, but still enjoyable.
I found out how it ended. I know how it ends, and it kind of entices me to see it even more. So I will be seeking Begonia out. In fact, I want to see. I don't think I've seen any Lorgos Nyanthamos, if that is how you pronounce his real name.
I received that as a gift, actually, from somebody who ordered it from me when they found out I was laid up with a busted leg. They sent me the steelbook.
Nice.
It's the phases of the moon around the chain, and Yorgos Lanthimos made The Lobster with Lea Seydoux and Colin Farrell. I gotta say, the first half of that movie is phenomenal. It's like one of the most wildly original things ever, where people are at this hotel and they have 1 month to find their soulmate, otherwise they get turned into an animal of their choice for the rest of their life. And then the second half is like the polar opposite, where they're living with like this cult in the woods where love is forbidden. And the problem with that is like, okay, now you're just like regular friends out camping. There's nothing really unique about that. And it slowed down dramatically. But the first half was really, really good. He also made The Killing of a Sacred Deer with Nicole Kidman and Colin Farrell and Barry Keoghan. And that's probably the first, I would say maybe that was Barry Keoghan's breakout movie where he plays a total weirdo, because Colin Farrell plays a heart surgeon, and one of his patients was Barry Keoghan's dad, his character's dad, who dies. And he keeps having this kind of weird relationship with him because he feels kind of guilty for the fact that the guy died, but the kid, being Barry Keoghan, playing this really creepy character, and weird stuff happens. Very interesting movie. And then, of course, The Favorite is probably his most accessible film. That's the one with Olivia Colman as Queen Anne, and Rachel Weisz, or no, was it Rachel Weisz, or was it Marion Cotillard? I can't remember. Her and Emma Stone competing to be the court favorite of the Queen, and like I said, that was probably his most accessible mainstream film, and that won Olivia Colman the Oscar. That's a great video to watch if you haven't seen it. Her winning the Oscar for that.
I've heard it's one of the great Oscar
It is.
acceptance
She was
speeches.
so you could tell she was completely just gobsmacked. She had no idea. Okay, it was Rachel Weisz. Tiger Stripe says thank you. She was totally gobsmacked. She had no idea that she was going to win that award. And then, of course, Poor Things, which every frame of the movie is absolutely stunning to look at. But it's not that interesting of a story because it's like, okay, this creature that, Frankenstein's creature type thing gets created. And once she discovers sex, that's all she wants to do. And that's kind of what the rest of the movie is. And one of the highlights is Mark Ruffalo plays an asshole, and he usually doesn't play assholes in movies. So that was kind of fun. But at 2 hours, 20 minutes plus, it was way too long. I think they needed to cut like 40 minutes out. But it was a very gorgeous looking film. And then he did Kinds of Kindness in 2024. I didn't see that one, but that's like I understand it. That's an ensemble piece, mostly with the same cast. I haven't seen it. And then, of course, Begonia. But speaking of Rachel Weisz, she is officially signed on with Brendan Fraser for a fourth Mummy movie coming in May 19th, 2028. So that the Brandanaissance or whatever we call it is continuing.
We shall see.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like everybody talks about the Legacy sequel, and then none of them end up being any good. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, a new Legacy sequel! I can't wait. And it's like, okay, geez.
I wish they would treat those as just like another installment rather than doing the whole Legacy thing about it. So just bring them back and tell a regular story, and not go overboard.
Well, we'll see. It worked so well for the last two Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah. Brendan Fraser's new movie, Rental Family, which I absolutely loved. I thought he was better in that than in The Whale, even. That just got dropped on Hulu for anybody who has that. I thought it was a very good film.
Which one?
Rental Family.
Rental Family, yes.
It had one of my favorite
and I've heard it's okay. Yeah.
There's one scene.
And he just signed on. I don't know in what.
Oh, we lost Scott. Okay, we'll wait for Scott to come back for a second. Tiger Stripes found Poor Things horribly sexist. These directors using actors to make their privy fantasies reality. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah, it was very much her just being obsessed with sex and finding her own agency or whatever. But I don't know. Yeah, kind of. What were you saying, Scott? Before you disappeared?
Oh, I was saying that that I just saw a first image of Brendan Fraser playing Dwight Eisenhower.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I guess he's got that coming up. I don't know in what capacity, whether it be film or HBO, television, and streaming. I don't know how, but yeah, it's one of those. Well, and I saw an interview with Ian McKellen saying, like, who is an actor that you look up to? And he was like, Brendan Fraser. And the interviewer was like, what? Like George of the Jungle, Brendan Fraser?
No,
he's like one of the best. Yeah. One of the best actors that he had worked with. And so I don't know. It seems like Brendan Fraser is one of those guys that can play anything. And so I look forward to it. Hey, if you can act alongside Daffy Duck and Ian McKellen, then you got to be doing something right.
Yep, that Tiger Stripes points out. Sure, because they were both in Gods and Monsters. Yes, they were. Yeah, that was true. That's a good movie as well. Underrated. Anything else that you want to bring up, or?
Well, if we're wrapping up, winding down, but I don't like, aside from like, I'm looking forward to The Bride. I'm looking forward to Project Hail Mary. When the summer blockbusters start blockbusting the summer, I'm sure we'll be here more regular, or I'll be back hanging out on the Fantasmagorium a little bit more regularly.
That's right. They did just drop the new trailer for Mando and Grogu, and that was the first time I've become remotely interested in that film. I thought it was a much better trailer than the first one.
Well, I'll see how the hype goes. I don't know. I'll probably end up
Yeah.
seeing it on a Tuesday.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I did like the Carl Weathers shout out though, where it said this character comes out of a room and you see an Arabesh written above the door. It says Weathers Apollo.
Yes.
Just pretty clever.
It is clever, but like it's kind of like, your Orabesh is my Klingon.
Yeah.
It's like I'm rusty, but I can pick it up in text. But like, I can't read Orabesh.
Yeah, it takes a while.
It's very difficult. But yeah, no, I don't have much else. Obviously, I hang out with Anti-Derivative Jill. We're going to be talking about Star Trek Voyager tomorrow. And then Cinema Gulp, we're going to be talking about the box office of 2016. And yeah, the beat goes on.
Good eye cat. Weathers Apollo. Gotta wonder if Cara Dune will be in the Mando movie. I don't know. I mean, I know they've been keeping the cast list. I mean, other than Sigourney Weaver and Pedro, they haven't really announced many people for that movie. I know that Pedro was only on set for one day. He plays the character only in the scene where he takes his helmet off, and the rest of the time he voices it. And the people playing Mando are Brendan Wayne, who's the grandson of John Wayne, who's a stuntman, and Lateef Crowder, who is another stuntman. And if you've watched it enough and are aware of it, you can actually recognize their body language, and there are these subtle differences in their walking gait and the way they slight height differentiations, and you could tell who's in the suit. But yeah, that's why Pedro can be in everything. Is with Mandalorian Commitment is literally just voicing it in the booth, and then if the helmet doesn't come off, then he's not on set.
Well,
yep. You can really tell Wayne by his walk. Absolutely.
You just mentioned how Peter Dinklage wasn't in the prosthetics for the Toxic Avenger, and David Prowse famously wasn't necessarily in much of the suit by the later films, and so.
DJ Play Nice says, y'all be safe, have fun, take care of your crew, and rock. Have a great night and an awesome weekend. Thank you, DJ Play Nice. And Canadian Spider-Man.
Hey, Spidey.
Nice to see you here.
I wish you had said, good luck, have fun, don't die.
That is a fun greeting in that movie.
But it's kind of a curse.
It is.
I like how it turns out to be a curse, how it actually plays into the film itself. So yeah, I guess I've been bouncing back and forth between a 4 out of 5 or a 3 out of 5, and I think I'm back to a 4 out of 5. Absence makes the heart go yonder.
Yeah, go see that movie if you guys haven't seen it. Good luck, have fun, don't die. Scott and I both like it. Yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5. It was very fun.
I've given it a 4 out of 5 twice. I've given it a 3 out of 5 once. So, and I've only seen it once.
Yeah. I was teetering back and forth between a 3.5 and a 4 out of 5, dependent because of the third act. But I think it's still worth checking out.
I would love to do once it becomes more widely available. I'd love to do a spoiler review, like a full on, just flat out.
Absolutely, that'd be fun.
All right.
Thank you for everybody who showed up in the chat. So many people.
Thank you, Canadian Spider-Man, for joining us. I'll go from the top and work my way down. I want to say thank you so much to DJ Play Nice with The Rock. Thank you, Ash, for being here. I appreciate your input on the movies that you've seen and the ones that you want to see. Wes Cagle, thank you so much. It is a fantastic Fantasmagorium show. That means Steve was he was lurking for a bit, which is nice to see you. Oh, that was you? I thought it was Steve. I got surprised or excited for it. All right. Well, thanks, Steve. Gavin Blackburn, thank you for dropping a comment and joining the chat. Thank you so much. Comic Relief Crusader for stopping by. And don't forget, on Saturday, he's going to be checking out Morocco. And FKHC 2005. thank you very much for acknowledging Catherine O'Hara being from the T dot, the 416, the YYZ, which I don't usually say YYZ. I usually say the Z. Herc 130, thanks for kicking around, sir. Appreciate it, Flyboy. And Tiger Stripes, your contributions to the conversation, as always, are insightful and very welcome.
Absolutely.
And Lemon. How could I forget Lemon? Thank you, Lemon. I appreciate you acknowledging the fact that I haven't been here very much, but I like starting at 10:30 at night. It's way better than starting at midnight, that's just something that's happening way too.
When do you start at midnight?
Saturday nights on Jill's channel. We start at like midnight for me, and it ends up being like a 5 a.m. situation. I'm very comfortable right now.
You don't have much of a valid excuse for not being on the show anymore.
You're right. You're absolutely correct. Thank you, DJ. Thank you, DJ Play Nice, for being a member for 17 months. And back to the bottom. It's like Jenga. We take a block from the bottom and we put it on top. It's Canadian Spider-Man. And thank you for being here. And so, thanks, everybody.
Yeah, the midnight start. I mean, I know that's only 9 o'clock my time, but those shows tend to go to around probably 2:30 my time. And yeah, I've watched some of them. I've been on a couple. Tiger Stripe says, "Yeah, Jill's killing me with a midnight start. I'm terrified I'm gonna fall asleep and sitting up and snoring." No, that's what Rob does when he's on camera for Midnight Metal, or used to.
Yeah.
Luckily, good one. Thanks, everyone. Oh shucks. Oh, you're welcome, Tiger Stripes.
Yeah. No, luckily I haven't fallen out of my chair in years now. There was that one time.
I'm here every Thursday, guys, at 7:30. Next week is going to be another episode of From the Pile. Ernesto and I, and maybe Scott will join too, with a movie that we've only watched for the first time that we think others would be surprised that we hadn't seen. I have a couple good ones I've been holding back, so it'll be quite fun. So I guess we'll see you guys later. Live long and prosper, and may the force be with you. And let me find the proper outro shit.
Good luck, have fun, don't die.
Yes. Good luck, have fun, don't die.